What's going on, everybody? The battle for the new age media, the social media, big tech continues on, I guess, here. We got multiple news stories of different social media platforms, their relevant news coming out. I think the biggest one right now is this TikTok ban that was passed last year. I talked about it on the channel. Actually, I kind of forgot about it because honestly I was like, I don't think they're going to ban TikTok. I think it's all just hype, but we're coming up to the deadline now. So apparently the 19th is the deadline, and that would be Sunday. So if something doesn't change, I guess the Supreme Court could step in, Congress could step in and extend the deadline, or the Supreme Court could issue a ruling or an injunction and kind of pause this thing or slow it down, extend it at least, delay it. But otherwise, the parent company, I don't know if you've ever heard of the company, ByteDance. I've only heard of them, I feel like, from video games is where I heard of it originally. But I mean, it's a Chinese company that is a giant tech gaming media company, whatever you would want to call it. But basically the law that was passed that would ban TikTok, in the sense, was just that this company had to divest from TikTok because it's a Chinese company. If you know anything about the way the Chinese government works, the CCP works, if you have a company that's ran and like is based out of China or even operates in China, maybe it's not even based in China, like if it's an American company and you want to operate in China, they have government officials, CCP officials that are in your company. So like, you obviously have to follow their rules. The government has like a tight strangle on whatever happens at that company. Like if you wanna operate there, you follow the rules. And basically this law is saying any company that's owned by an adversary of the United States, which I think they were defining as China, Russia, Iran, and North Korea. I mean, North Korea, I don't know what really hazard they they pose to the United States, but whatever. They're not allowed to operate within the United States. So this ByteDance company would have to divest from TikTok. And in response, TikTok is saying, well, they're not gonna divest. And instead of the technical way that they were gonna ban it was basically just take it off the App Store. If you had it already on your phone, you could just still use it, apparently. But TikTok is saying, we're just gonna shut the whole shit down if you do this, if you go through with this. Which, in my personal opinion, I could not care less, man. Like, I mean, I think I downloaded TikTok maybe like a month and a half ago. I've used it maybe twice, like for YouTube videos and things like that, trying to find some stuff on there. I don't look at it at all. That kind of content, like the short form videos, I obviously watch them, but it's every social media is now is TikTok. In reality, Vine did it first, and they've evolved from there. But everything, YouTube Shorts, Instagram is just Reels, Facebook is just Instagram Reels, or whatever they call it on Facebook. It's the same thing. TikTok, Twitter has the same thing with, like, you can just scroll up on videos right to the next video. It's everywhere. That's the trend of content right now. Personally, I mainly use YouTube here. I mean, it's still social media. It's not totally, but it's a lot different, I think, than most social medias. And then, I mean, I'll use Facebook, but not for social media. I just use it for Marketplace. And then I don't have Instagram anymore. I have a Snapchat. I don't use it at all. And X, Twitter. So if I'm trying to actually like read something or look at something, I'm going on X. So this TikTok thing would be huge. I mean, if it actually goes through, the thing I was listening to, trying to understand what all is going on. 113 million people in the United States use TikTok, so that's almost like 1 in 3 people. If they ban TikTok, that's like 1 in 3 people actually use TikTok and would be affected. I don't know how pissed off people are going to be. Probably super pissed. I don't know. I feel like the people on TikTok are the younger generation for the most part, but there's definitely like my generation and the one above me is definitely on there. And I'm sure people run their businesses and make money off TikTok, so that would suck for them, but I don't really know how you argue this in the sense of like, if they are doing what I would assume they're doing, the Chinese company that owns it is just harvesting every bit of data they can out of TikTok and using it for whatever purpose they have, but I don't think it's good for the United States in general. Ban that shit. Ban it. We've been going through this as it comes out, more and more information about how these apps or anything that's hooked into your phone and hooked to the internet just harvests all your data it possibly can. As much as it can get away with, it's gonna take what it can get. I'm sure every social media does it. Facebook, Meta, Instagram, whatever. Twitter does it. I'm sure all of them do it. I don't know if you can at least just say, well, at least they're American companies, like and headquartered here, and then our government is the one that's going to them to get the data. Because we saw this. I mean, Zuckerberg was just on Rogan trying to 180 on his political stance, I guess, and become like a conservative now or whatever. I think he's completely full of shit, but basically just came out and said yes, like during COVID and during the Hunter Biden laptop story time, if you remember that, they had the White House, the federal government coming to them and saying, hey, like basically demote this shit. Don't spread this as fast as it normally would. This is a lie. This is misinformation. Turns out it wasn't really misinformation. I'm sure there was some COVID actual misinformation, but they were like de-ranking this content because they disagreed with it or it was negative for them personally. So you have the federal government stepping into these social media companies to bend them to their will. This came out in like the Twitter files as well. Before Elon bought Twitter and turned it into X, they were doing the same shit with Twitter. So you think they're not doing it everywhere? You think they're not doing it to YouTube? I mean, Google has probably the most sway of any of them, just because Google's the parent company of YouTube, and they're huge. I mean, Google's obviously a gigantic company with all the things they run and own and operate. But Facebook's big as hell for like a social media company. That it's a giant company. Instagram and Facebook is a huge network of people. So when they demote things or derank it or keep you from seeing it, whatever, shadow ban people or content, I mean, that impact is not a small one. That's big time shit. And politically, I mean, it's huge because you can just use it to your advantage. If one part or the other, it doesn't matter who it is, which is funny because we're watching all these billionaires and tech people like cozy up to Trump now that he's the one who won. That's why I think they're just the most wishy-washy motherfuckers on the planet. Like, hey, I mean, money talks, bullshit walks. They want to keep making their money. They're going to cozy up to who's in charge now. It doesn't matter who it was. If Kamala would have won, they'd be cozying up to her. It doesn't matter. But the real story here is obviously if TikTok gets shut down, that's going to have big implications. I don't know what Trump's opinion is on it. I think he's now flip-flopped into don't ban it. So we'll see what he does. I think he would be kind of in charge of enforcing the ban because he would get inaugurated the day after. And we'll see where it goes. My guess is this going to get paused. It's just, I mean, it's so big. TikTok's so big. Net benefit, I think it honestly wouldn't be that bad to ban it. Because who knows what they're using all that data they're harvesting from your phone. I don't know. Who knows? Is the CCP somehow able to access my videos and photos on my phone if TikTok is able to access them and then just scrape whatever data they can off your phone? Who knows? I mean, who knows? Unless you want to dive into it, I don't think there's any real way to know unless you get into their code somehow, and I don't know. I don't think that's possible for one because it's obviously like a proprietary thing, and we're never going to know. Whose government do you want to control your social media? The U.S. government or the Chinese government? I mean, I don't want any government having their hands in that kind of shit, but obviously I think the U.S. government would be a little better. I would hope. That's our only hope, I guess. But I don't know. You let me know what you think. Drop a like on the video if you liked it. Subscribe. Come back for more. Got one more video this week. It's Friday tomorrow. And dislike it if you didn't. Tell me why. And let me know what you think is going to happen to TikTok. I think it'll still be around. I think we're at too big to fail on the social media front at this point.